What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today it's very windy, but I am at the Doorstep Lake's little brother. Now at the Doorstep Lake there are two lakes. Obviously the lake that you've seen me fish, which is full of bigger carp, but there's also a little lake here which has got some other little fish in as well, some different species, and I'm going to try my luck today on this lake to see just what I can get out of the Doorstep Lake's little brother. So just to give you a little gauge of what this lake's actually like, I'm going to put some videos up here now on screen where I'm basically just walking along each swim and just filming what the lake looks like itself. Now, I must admit, this is the kind of lake which is perfect for my pole fishing that I haven't done for over 2 years now. I really miss it and I really want to get back into it, but I just haven't got a motor that's big enough to be able to take my seat box. I need a van basically, or even just a bigger car. But yeah, I really want to get back into my pole fishing because this lake, I believe, is full of smaller carp than the Doorstep Lake, tench, bream, perch and other species like that. So again, like I say, we're going to fish it with an open mind. Today I'm on the waggler rod. I've got my float rod. I'm really looking forward to using that, getting a bend in that hopefully, and it's going to be interesting to see what we can get out of this lake. So if you haven't seen me before, my name is Aaron and I post fishing videos every Saturday at 6 p.m. So go down, hit that subscribe button, leave a like on the video, and you can watch more of my videos. I've got hours of content that you can go back and watch. And yeah, all I try to do is be as honest as I can, as real as I can, bring you fishing videos and just take you along with me when I go out fishing. Sometimes we go to big waters for big carp. Other times, like today, we get the float rod out and we try and catch a few different species. There's a lot of fish there cruising. I don't know if you can see them just under the water, the little black shadows. It looks like all one's just flicked. It looks like they're small, like roach. So there we go. It's just uncovering a new water, basically, just trying to find out what the species is. And yeah, seeing if we can unlock this tiny little gem of a lake. And the best part about this kind of fishing is that is all my stuff for a few hours. So I've chosen that end swim. I think there's about 5 or 6 swims. My car's up there, the car park's down that end. But I've chosen this swim. It's a little bit sheltered. The wind's sort of blowing down this way. I've got a little chuck out to these pads here. I'm going to fish around the pads. But I'd be very interested. I really think that coming down here with a bite alarm, so you could float fish towards those pads there and send a bite alarm out towards those back pads there or something. I'd be very tempted to come back here with alarms and just see if we could pick up some bigger fish. And when I say bigger fish, I mean I'm after some big fish today. I say big fish, big fish. Maybe some big tench or bream would be nice. I don't think there's any big carp in here, but we're just fishing for a bite today. Honestly, like, the sun's out, I'm off work, I'm just putting my feet up, chilling out, and I just want to catch a couple of fish. Do you know what I mean? I'm not fishing far. Simple, easy tactics. Float, split shot, probably like a size 8 hook, and just enjoy ourselves. Do you know what I mean? Maybe even a size 10 hook. Although saying that, I've got some leftover bait that I'm going to use. It's probably a little bit overkill for this water. So here we go. I mean, it's a bit dry. Probably could do with some liquid on it, but I don't have any with me. It's literally just this. I'll probably crush those boilies down. They're a bit big, but I want them like that. That's what I want going into the water, bits like that. But the thing is, the beauty of this is it's so dusted and covered in like the magic dust, and just it's how it comes out the bag anyway with all the different particles. What's going to happen is they're going to sit on the bottom, and all those, look at it all over my fingers, that's just going to come up through the water column. The smaller fish are going to get on there, eat all of that, and then the bigger fish hopefully are going to come along and munch these bigger bits as well. So we're not going to fish with a boilie, we're going to fish with, I've got corn, and also I want to try this out because I've never used this before. I've got the helicopter with me. I'm hoping I don't have to use that. At the moment it's sunny, so we're all good. Got my tripod with me and I've got my little bag here, but this is my little match rod. I love this match rod. Beautiful little 10-foot match rod, and it puts an amazing bend in the rod when you catch a fish sort of like 4 or 5 pounds. Very, very small light reel with 4 or 5 pound line on there. Yeah, I mean, it's just simple. If you want fun and you want to just enjoy catching fish and you're not bothered about catching anything big, what a setup this is. So I've got my boilies, I've got my corn, but also what I've got is, like I say, I've not really tried and tested this yet, but it's the freezer paste. So I'm actually going to give this a go. It's the OG Fish one. I'm going to basically, what happened was, when Parker Baits first came out and first sort of became established, I was in contact with Ben. I mean, I knew Ben anyway, but I just said to him, I was like, I very much like the idea of you know, making and selling your own bait and stuff. And I was like, I really want to try and get involved, but all he was doing was like, at this stage, all he was doing was boilies. And I was like, that's great. I was like, but I'm not really a carp angler. I'm more of a match angler. And at this point I was really banging into my pole fishing. And I said to him, I was like, I really would like to try, maybe if you brought out some pellets or something like that would be great. And he went and bought out this paste. Sorry, I don't know if you can hear because the wind is atrocious, but he went and bought out this paste. And I was like, paste fishing can be used quite a lot in match fishing. With pole fishing, you can like just mold little balls of paste like you would cheese, I guess, and just roll it into a ball and hook it, and it's soft so that when a fish takes it, it's so easy to just pull the hook through the paste. And I've never got round to doing it because, like I say, since I've been carp fishing, I've never really used the paste, and I haven't really been pole fishing since I've taken up carp fishing. So what a sort of excuse to come down here, what a way of sort of introducing it and just seeing hopefully if we can catch a few fish on it. Be interesting. Well, I'm all set up now, and what I like to do before I throw any bait in, and I've just cast out, and you can see the tip of my float just there. See that orange bit there? That's the tip of my float. Now, what I'm doing before I put any bait out is I'm just seeing how far this setup will be able to cast, because it all depends. If you're using heavier floats, heavier split shot, a certain line that you use, a certain reel, a certain rod that you use, with different setups you can cast at different sort of like different parameters, different distances. So it's good to just get a few, before you put any bait out, just get a few casts in, see where your boundaries are, see where you're comfortable fishing, where your cast is. And then again, before you put any bait out, any match angler will tell you that this is the most, or one of the most important tools of their armory. This is a plummet. It's going to help you plumb the depth, and it's going to tell you so much about the water in front of you, where the deep holes are, where there's certain areas that are deeper than others, where there's bars, where there's weed. Like, this thing will tell you all of that. So make sure if you are going to float fish and you want to try and take it half seriously and catch a few fish, you want to get yourself one of these plummets. It's only a couple of quid, and it will tell you so much information about your swim. Now, I don't want to be that guy to teach people to suck eggs if they know exactly what they're doing, but for any beginners out there that don't know what they're doing, I've now got the plummet attached to my hook, and if I drop it in here, I can feel where the bottom is. It's actually quite deep there. My float is bob on there, so I know that that plummet is now exactly on the bottom there, and my float is set up nicely, so I'm fishing there on the bottom. I know I'm exactly on the bottom. If my float was to disappear, like this for example, it's probably going to be deeper, I'd imagine, out here. If my float was to disappear like that, I know I'm not on the bottom, because my float will be at the top of the water, and then the distance between the float and the top of the water will be how far I am off the bottom. If I bring it back shallower, I'd imagine this is shallower here, so it's very windy. It is, yeah, so you can feel the donk. There it is. The float's on the bottom, the plummet's on the bottom there, and the float's out of the water, so I know I'm well over depth. So that means that if I get a bite, between the float and the water, the fish has got that much room to move before I get an indication on my float. I know I'm not always the best at explaining things, but I hope that makes sense. There's plenty of videos on YouTube. If you type in how to plumb the depth, or plumbing the depth, or float fishing plumbing depth, you'll find exactly what I'm on about, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. All I know is I'm fishing, I mean, it's a lot deeper than I thought it was, and I'm fishing way too shallow, so I need to lengthen the depth up by sliding the float up the line and making sure that I'm going to be fishing on the bottom, so my bait is presented where the fish are going to be feeding. Well, that's a nice surprise. Where I'm fishing is actually about 6 foot. It's quite deep, which is quite good. I mean, look, this is where my hook is, and then I've got, I don't know if you can see that, I've got a little split shot there, and that's basically, because I'm fishing quite deep, it's basically to try and get the hook bait down onto the deck as quickly as possible. Then obviously down to my main line, I'm just fishing straight through here. And then there's a float, like I say, it's about six foot away, which is really good. And that's only just to the edge of these pads in this little groove right here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get some bait out and then basically bait up and go over the top. Right, well, I've thrown some boilies in whole and I've thrown some boilies in chopped, just so that there's there's some more sort of like plenty of particles coming off the bait. You've got half ones that the smaller fish can take, and you've got the bigger ones in there in case the bigger fish do move in. Now what I'm going to do with this paste, like I say, not used it before, but I know how paste works from my match angling days. It is OG fish, and I believe this is the same product as what you get with the boilies. It's the same mixture, there's no difference. The only thing is it hasn't been, well, I say boiled, it hasn't been steamed. Parker baits steam all their boilies. So here we go. I'm going to basically take a pinch like this, just a small pinch. It's really fishy, really smelly. And I'm basically just going to put it in the hook. I've got a Guru size 10 on there. I don't know if you guys can see that. That's a Guru size 10 hook. Other brands are available. And I'm just going to mould it. I don't know how well you can see this. Try and keep my big fingers out of the way. But I'm just going to mould it around the hook and basically just create a ball of paste. That's all I want. And you can, the beauty of it as well, you can set the size of it. So if you want to aim for smaller fish, if you're getting a lot of bites but you're not hooking up, you can put on a smaller bit of bait. Or if you're getting fed up with the little bits of, you know, the little bits of paste, and you want to target those bigger fish, you can put on a bigger bit. But there you go. Basically now you have a nice little ball of OG fish paste with my hook right inside it, and the hook point is just about sticking out. I don't know if you can see that. My hook point is, it's not going to focus. Is it going to focus? It would help if you saw the right end of the hook. The hook point is just about on top there, sticking out. You see that? So if any fish takes that now, it's going to pull through the paste and hopefully hook the fish in the top lip. Here we go. Well, I got a bite straight away. It hit it on the drop. The thing is, because it's so deep here, it's like 6 foot, it's quite difficult to cast. I've got the wind blowing in front of my face, and obviously there's not a lot of weight on that paste, and there's a lot of line between the hook and the float, so casting is very difficult. I'm gonna have to master that. But the paste has just come off. We did have a bite straight away on the drop. I'm going to flip the camera around so that you guys can see the float, hopefully, and hopefully we can get some live biting action on the camera. Well, I know you saw me baiting up just in front of these lily pads right here down in front of me, but I've actually changed now because it was a nightmare to cast with the wind, and the depth of the water as well was like, if I had my pole, I'd get in there every time, but I couldn't. There's not enough weight on my line to underarm it, and overarm it. I kept landing in the lilies, so I'm actually fishing in a deeper spot now, which is more like 7.5 foot. It's ridiculous, but I'm on the edge of the pads now. I did just get another bite, so I'm gonna set my camera up so you guys can see it. I'm gonna cast in and hopefully we can nail our first fish. I think it's small fish because I've had 2 bites and not hooked anything, so let's whip it out there, cast over the spot, bring it back, and I'm fishing on the edge of these pads now, so hopefully you can see the float there on the edge of the pads. And hopefully it won't be long before that float goes under and we can hook up and, like I say, catch our first fish. Here we go, we got a bite already. Nah. See, I think it's just small fish hitting it on the way down. I need to get that bait on the bottom as soon as possible so we can get into the bigger fish. This wind is a nightmare. In fact, this wind is so bad. A minute ago, it was literally like running into a brick wall. It hit me that hard, my hat flew off, nearly lost it. There we go, right. This is the difference with fishing like with a waggler and a match rod. The difference between fishing with that and a pole is the pole, the accuracy is second to none. But here we go. Hopefully it won't take long. I don't think it will. There we go. We're into a fish. Ah, there we go, it jumped. I think it was the same fish. It looks like it's just small fish hitting that, so it's small roach. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put on a smaller bit of paste, and what I might even do is change my hook to a smaller size to try and nail that first fish. There we go. We got a fish on. Our first fish on the paste. I think, yeah, it's a little roach. Well, there we go. The first fish is a little roach. Right, well, I slipped that one back. I'm hoping we can catch a bigger one, but I caught my first roach on the paste. Happy days, there's fish in the area, we're catching, I haven't blanked. And let's hope we can catch some bigger and better fish, and also some different species. Right, well, I've just put some sweet corn out to try and get the carp in, but I'm getting absolutely hounded by little fish that I can't hook. Well, I'm into my second fish. It is another roach, it's a smaller roach. Let me get the hook out. There we go. I'll hold him over the water in case he flaps, but there you go. But as long as I'm catching and there's fish coming in. I'm not too bothered what's on the bank, as long as I'm building a weight. That's what match fishing is all about, just building that weight. And that's what it's all about, catching fish. You know, this it's funny because I've done a couple of sessions now where I've just literally come down to the lake just to unwind and catch a few fish. And I did a session before where I was fishing at a lake and it was so tranquil, and it was just nice to just get out and just sit there in the beauty of nature and just catch fish, whether it is like 3 ounce roach, £3 carp, or 23-pound carp. Do you know what I mean? I like catching fish, any fish, and yeah, it's brilliant. Just being out, getting away from the hustle and bustle, coming down, enjoying the sun, and catching a few fish. You can't beat it. You just can't beat it. Well, I've just gone and caught the biggest fish of the day, and it is again a roach. I'll hold him up for you so you can see him. Nice looking one. And here you go, biggest roach so far of the day. Happy days. Let's get him back, he's wriggling. Well, I have got another one in the onion bag. Again, blood red fins, another little roach. If I hold him closer, he looks bigger. There we go. Look at that. And that is on the OG Fish paste. Let's get him back. Happy days, it's great fun. Oh, this wind is an absolute joke. Look at the trees over there blowing an absolute hoolie. There's a tree up here and it keeps clicking every time the wind blows it, like... Typical. It's not going to do it now. It sounds like the tree's going to fall down on top of me. I don't like it, I don't feel safe, but we've caught a few fish. And like I said, I'm hoping that now I'll put a bit more bait in, the bigger fish can move in. I've just put a load more bait in, a load more boilies, a load more sweet corn. Oh, something just, that was a leaf. Oh, it just landed on my hand. I was like, what's that? A leaf just landed on my hand. Anyway, I'm gonna now switch to the food segment of the video, because we always do that in my videos. Because I'm just doing a couple of hours, I haven't bought the stove, I haven't bought any barbecues, nothing like that, right? We're talking meal deals now. I want you to help me rate this meal deal. In fact, that might not be a good thing to say, because I'm sure there's a lot of people that will not like what I'm about to show you. Okay, I'm going to start off with a snack, right? It was between two crisps. It was between cheese and onion Walkers, which I do love cheese and onion Walkers, but there's also something that I was like, they make your breath a bit smelly, don't they? So I was like, okay, well, I'll go something else. Big Hoops Barbecue. Hula Hoops, Big Hoops Barbecue. That's a good choice, right? Out of 5, what are we saying that? We'll give that a 4.5 out of 5. Happy days, that's a good start. Drink. I'm telling you why I'm leaving the sandwich to the end, because it could ruin it for a lot of you, but it could make it for a few of you. Drink, we are talking, we didn't go water, we didn't go Pepsi Max, we went Ribena, and not the light version, the normal version Ribena. Out of 5, what are we giving that? That's another 4.5, right? That's a staple drink in any meal deal. What's that? That makes it 8, 9. We're on a 9 out of 15. No, out of 10. 9 out of 10. That's not bad. Out of 15 to finish it off with a sandwich. Now hear me out. Please, please, please hear me out. Brace yourself for this one. Before you riddle me in the comments, I don't like mayonnaise. So where the hell are my people, the Just Hammers? Where are the Just Hammers? I know there are people out there who are Just Ham, because I don't like mayo. Tesco, why'd you put mayo in every sandwich? Just Ham. So out of 5, I mean, look, I agree, it's a bit of a plain dull sandwich. I mean, I like this sandwich, but I do agree it's plain. I'm going to give that out of 5. I've got to give it a 3. I mean, I would give it lower if I liked mayo, but obviously I don't like mayo, so it's going to get a 3. It's nowhere near a 5 because it is plain. But yeah, there we go. So 9, 10, 11, 12 out of 15 is my meal deal. That's not a bad meal deal. Let's get it down my neck. Well, I'm starting to get a little bit worried because it's starting to spit now, and if it does start raining, I'm going to have to get the helicopter up. I've got the helicopter with me, but look how windy it is. This really will be the time that the helicopter goes if I do put it up. I'm hoping that rain stops or stays off and I don't have to put that helicopter up. But I don't even know if you can hear me because of the wind. I guess you can. Another one. And there's another one. I'm catching these all day. That's not a bad looking one, is it? Look at that. Here's the paste. Get a small lump of it. That's probably a little bit too much. I'll wrap it around the hook. A little bit of excess. Chuck that in there. There we go. We'll send that out. Again, probably still a bit too much. There we go. And that is like what I was saying before, is like you just mould the paste around your hook and leave the hook point showing, and that's how you can fish it. Just like that. Let's get that out on the spot. Camera rolling. Try and get this cast right. There we go, that's perfect. And now, wait for that float to go. Oh, I've already got a tweak, a little twitch. Again, like I say, these baits are both just as effective as each other. There's fish over the spot. It's just a waiting game. Keep your eye on that float. That's where I got the bite last time. There it goes again, and we're in. There we go. I can tell it's a roach by the way it's fighting. But there we go, real time. That was the paste. Oh, it's not. Is it a roach? Oh, it's not got very red fins, is it? Might be a rudd. Well, it is in fact a roach, but for some reason the fins just aren't very red. Sometimes you get ones with real blood red fins, other times you get one with more silvery sort of white colour fins. But there you go, that's on the paste. And again, we're catching them also on the corn. Like I said earlier, if you are new to these videos and you haven't seen me before, I've got lots of other videos where every week I release a new video, and sometimes, like I say, I fish for bigger carp. And there's not very often I fish little match sessions like this. Mainly it's carp fishing. But I do want to get out, especially in the winter as well. I want to start doing some proper like pike and perch fishing, because I don't just want to sort of like sell my soul to the carp fishing world. As much as I want to go and catch big carp, and I love carp fishing, I still love catching other species of fish. Maybe I might start to think about moving off the roach, because I've had a couple of sessions now where I've come to waters where I don't know what's in here, and I've just ended up catching loads of little roach. So I definitely want to come back here, but with bigger baits and carp tactics. And I've just lost my unhooking mat. Oh, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to get it back. Oh, I don't know if my net goes that far. I think it's caught on my line, which is good. Can I get my net out that far? Oh no, it's come off my line, hang on. Ugh. I think I just about hooked it. Ugh. There we go. Well, this is the biggest catch of the day, guys. Oh no, it's not going to fit in the net. Cool, that was lucky. Lucky I got that back. Oh, what a day. Well, I've just gone and caught a much better looking roach. Look at this. This is a lovely looking fish. And again, like I've been saying before, this is the biggest one of the day. I think the hook's come out in the net. I don't know where the hook is, but it's definitely not in his mouth. Look at that for a roach. That's lovely. I tell you what, if I was catching them all day, I would not be complaining at all. Look at that for a fish. That's lovely, that is. Look at that. Well, I really have got the roach feeder now. Honestly, it's one a chuck. I'm just chucking out, bang, fish. Chucking out, bang, fish. Obviously, I've got to set the hook, but I'm getting bites every cast. I'm alternating between the paste and sweet corn because the sweet corn's doing really well. The paste is doing really well. I've shallowed it right up. I've conceded the idea that I'm going to catch a big carp or a tench or something like that on the bottom. So obviously the roach are in the upper layers of the water. So I'm just chucking, bang, straight over those pads into the upper layers of the water, and I'm just roach. And you'd be surprised, I've caught some nice ones as well. I've actually got them in the net down there because for the last half an hour or so, I've just been catching them and putting them in a net so that I can show you, I would say a big bag, not a massive bag, but what I've caught over the last half an hour, which is good because I've been catching fish all day and most of them have gone back. But like I say, I've still got a big haul in this net here that I'm going to show you in a minute, some bigger than others, but I'm going to catch a few more first before I end this session, and then I'll show you what I've caught for the last sort of hour or so. Right, well that is it then, guys. Just under an hour. The first one went in there just under an hour ago. I wouldn't recommend doing this, by the way, guys. Don't leave fish in a net for more than you have to, really. I mean, I've only just done it for this purpose of the video, but yeah, just to show you, over the last sort of 45 minutes, this is what I've caught, and it's just a load of roach, really. Like I say, there's a couple in there that are sort of stand out. I mean, this one's slightly bigger. That's a nice looking fish. This one's slightly bigger as well. Look at those two. Lovely fish. But there you are. Nice little handful, and if you do that all day, you can catch a big bed of roach. These two are the pick of the day. Well, there we go then. The question is, do you have to be a carp angler to use Parker baits? The answer is no. You can be a match angler or a pleasure angler. Either way, you're catching fish with Parker baits. This is the paste. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one. Please like, subscribe, and peace.